It all started with one simple act of kindness, a gesture so small, yet powerful enough to change everything. You won't believe how it ended. Emma had worked at Miller's for nearly 6 years. She wasn't just a waitress, she was the soul of the place. She knew how old Mr. Jenkins liked his toast, burnt on one side, when Marlene from the flower shop needed a listening ear, and she never forgot a birthday. But behind her warm smile was a young woman, stretched thin. Her mother was sick, medical bills were piling up, and her younger brother was struggling to apply for college. Emma picked up every shift she could, but the math never added up. Still, she never brought her troubles to work. Every morning she tied on her apron and reminded herself, kindness doesn't cost a thing. That phrase lived in her heart. She believed that even when life didn't make sense, being good to others still mattered. And it was that belief that would soon be tested in a way she never saw coming. The bell above the diner door jingled, and in shuffled a man who looked like the world had forgotten him. His coat was threadbare, shoes worn to the sole. He kept his eyes low, avoiding stares, and sat quietly at the far end of the counter. Emma approached him like she did everyone, with warmth. "Coffee?" she asked gently. He gave a small nod, fumbling through a worn wallet, placing a handful of coins on the counter, not even enough for a refill. From across the room, the manager, Mr. Douglas, was watching. His voice, cold and sharp, cut through the air. If he can't pay, he can't stay. Emma hesitated, heart tugged. She poured a fresh cup and set it down in front of the man. "It's on me," she whispered. The man looked up, surprised, his eyes glassy. "Thank you," he murmured, "just one cup of coffee." But that moment would change everything. Mr. Douglas stormed over, face red with frustration. "You don't get to hand out free drinks like it's your own kitchen," he snapped. Emma stood her ground, calm but firm. It was just a cup of coffee. He needed it. The diner grew quiet. Even the cooks peeked out from the kitchen. "That's not your decision," Douglas growled. "You're fired." For a second, no one moved. A fork froze halfway to someone's mouth. Emma felt her stomach drop, but she didn't let it show. She untied her apron slowly, folded it with care, and laid it gently on the counter. "I hope one day," she said, "you understand. Kindness is worth more than a few extra cents." With that, she walked out. No drama, no tears, just grace. Customers watched in stunned silence as the door shut behind her. The man with the coffee sat quietly, holding the warm cup with both hands, eyes following her as she disappeared into the cold outside. The next morning, the diner buzzed with gossip, everyone talking about Emma, what she did, how she left. Around 10 a.m., a sleek black car pulled up to the curb. Out stepped the same man, but he looked like a different person. Gone were the scruffy clothes. He now wore a tailored suit, polished shoes, and carried the kind of presence that turned heads. Mr. Douglas nearly dropped a tray. "Can I help you, sir?" he stammered. The man smiled, not unkindly. "I'm James Whitmore," he said, "CEO of Whitmore Hospitality Group. We own this diner, and 200 more just like it." A ripple of shock moved through the room. "Yesterday, I came here undercover. I wanted to see how my staff treat people. Not just customers with wallets, but human beings." He paused. Emma passed with flying colors. Mr. Douglas looked like he'd seen a ghost. "Where is she now?" James asked. No one answered, but it didn't take long for him to find her. And when he did, he brought more than just an apology. Emma was at home, still trying to wrap her head around being unemployed, when there was a knock at the door. Standing there like a scene from a movie was James, now every bit the CEO. He explained everything, the undercover visit, the test, and how her kindness had moved him deeply. "You didn't just serve coffee," he told her. "You served humanity." Then came the real surprise. He offered her job back, plus a managerial promotion at twice the salary. He also handed her a letter, a commitment to cover her mother's medical bills in full, and another, a scholarship fund in her brother's name. Emma blinked, trying to find her voice. "Why?" she finally asked. James smiled. "Because the world needs more people like you, and because kindness deserves to come full circle." Emma, overcome with emotion, nodded as tears welled in her eyes. She had lost a job, but gained something far greater. Her heart had led her to do what was right, and it came back to her in ways she never imagined. News of Emma's story spread quickly, shared online, talked about in town halls and classrooms. Miller's Diner became more than a stop for pancakes. It became a symbol of compassion. Emma's one small gesture, a cup of coffee given without expectation, reminded everyone that kindness doesn't have to be grand to be powerful. You never know who's watching. You never know how far your actions might reach. If this story moved you, drop a comment below. Let's flood this space with kindness, one message at a time. And if you believe there's still good in this world, hit subscribe for more true stories that warm the heart.